guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Troy, I'm bold, and I collect watches. And anyway, this is my state of the collection for 2022. And I've added quite a few pieces, and some pieces have also left the collection. But also make sure to stay to the end of the video where you will actually see the winner of my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Apologies it's taken so long for me to actually do that video. We've had loads of building work, we've had tradespeople in and out, no kitchen, nowhere to record. It's just been a hell of a year. But 2023 is soon upon us, and hopefully, not hopefully, but definitely I'm going to be dropping some more content. Thanks to everyone who's got me up to over 1,000 subscribers. We're hitting 1,500 subscribers now, so again, thank you ever so much. And without further ado, let's take a look at this collection. Cheers! So we're going to start off with Seiko in the collection. First off, I will apologise if the audio is not great. Don't have any microphones or anything plugged in. I'm straight in, just recording straight on the phone. Like I said, we got limited facilities still here. We're nearly at the end. And then things like my microphone and audio quality should be better in the next few months. Well, anyway, this is my SSC 769P1, my Seiko chronograph solar with the panda dial. Absolutely beautiful watch. Lovely links there. And if we look at just a pressed clasp, but the buckle is signed there with Seiko. But the reasons I bought this is because of the dial. I'm a dial guy, and you can just see the light catching the honeycomb dial along with the panda complications. Stunning. And being solar powered as well, that's pretty cool. So we'll go on to the next one. Sticking with the Seikos, we got the SSB 395P1, the chronograph 140th anniversary edition. They had other watches within this lineup, like I think there was a Presage, there was a Seiko 5. There's quite a few with the same colors, the same aesthetics, design, but obviously different complications, different Seiko lineup. But this one I had at a good price. Again, with the multi-layer dial, I just had to have it. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful solid links on the bracelet. Pressed clasp, but signed with Seiko. But again, an absolute stunning watch. Bought this for under £200. I just had to have it. So yeah, there is the SSB 395P1. A very special watch to me. The watch I actually wore for my wedding. The Presage Fuyugashiki from Seiko. An absolute stunner. Look at that dial. Let's get the movement going. There we go. Look at that. An absolute stunner. The blue on the hand. In my opinion, one of the best looking Seikos you could have for under £500. But this one has a special place in my heart because it was the one I wore on my wedding day. Got your butterfly clasp. I cannot remember the movement in this one. It's the 4R movement. There we go. I don't know if you can just see it on the display case back. This is the SRP C97J1. The Fuyugashiki from Seiko. The cocktail time. One of my favorite lineups. Another in the cocktail time lineup. The Presage Mockingbird. The Seiko Presage Mockingbird cocktail time. That is the SRPD 37J1. Stunning green dial, gold indexes, no, gold second hand, silver indexes with the spear indexes. Nice large crown, same movement again. 4R. I don't know if you can just see it there on the display case back. Lovely strap, bit stiff, but I think because maybe I've not worn this one a lot, because it is a heck of a dress watch. An absolutely beautiful dial. Again, you'll see it with my collection why I go for the watches I go for, because they all have outstanding dial work, which means as I can afford one, maybe a Grand Seiko would find one in the collection, but that would mean I'd have to consolidate and sell a lot of these just so I could have one of those in the collection. This one was actually bought for me on my 40th birthday by my wife. The Presage Seiko Cocktail Time, the Mockingbird. Another Presage. So again, these are outstanding value for the money. If you are after intricate dial work and a watch that looks a lot more expensive than what it is, then you really have to check the Presage lineup. This is the SRPD 97J1. This is also known as the Zen Garden. There's quite a few Zen Gardens actually in the Seiko lineup. This one, if you're trying to look for it online, this is a watch gecko strap. It does come with a metal strap, metal bracelet, but I found it a little bit too blingy and I wanted to just dress this one down because it's just so simple. Again, beautiful dial work. The blue hand outstanding. Textured on the indexes. It's an absolute beauty, this one. Again, we'll check the movement out. We'll see what we have inside. I believe this is going to be another 4R movement. Can you see it there? Where are we? Yeah, 4R. There we go, just there. I just read on the back there it was sapphire crystal as well on the top, which surprised me. See, when you have a big collection, you don't actually get to appreciate the ones you do have in your collection. But this is the Japanese Zen Garden, the Seiko Presage SRPD 97J1. First time showing this one off on YouTube. The one my wife bought me for Christmas of this year. I had it a little bit early from the Black Friday sales. It is the SPB 209J1, the Seiko Alpinist, also known as the Sunbeam Forest. So as you can see, it's not your traditional green dial as you get with an Alpinist, and they've obviously released other colors throughout the years, like a white, blue, I've seen black, but this one has a brown autumnal, is that a word, autumnal feel to it, with the gold indexes. But as soon as I got hands on with this, I could see the appeal of an Alpinist. The case shape, case size, the hands, the indexes. You've got your inner rotating compass just in the inside there. That can go with the second crown. This one has the upgraded movement, so it's the first one and the only one in my collection, sorry. That is a 6R movement, 6R35A. I don't know if you can just catch that. I don't know if you can, but it's the 6R movement. And that's my Seiko Alpinist Sunbeam Forest SPB 209J1. So as you can see, not the stock strap, but certainly goes with it. The strap was bought off of eBay. The strap I had with this Seiko, I'm just looking down here at my notes, SRPE 57K1 was absolutely shocking. So I had to get rid of it. So this one's pretty much just lived on a NATO since day one. I think it matches really well with the gold tones of the hands, indexes, and also on the strap. This is also known as, just get the fingerprints off, this is also known as the Dress KX, an absolutely amazing hit for Seiko and their Seiko 5 lineup. And they've got many colours on this, this watch. I love the black and gold. Gives me the Tudor Black Bay 41 vibe. again, a watch out of my budget. You might say, oh, well, why have you got all these watches? You could afford to have one. Well, I just enjoy wearing watches, to be honest. Doesn't matter really. To me, of course, it does matter what the name is on the dial, but I'm just happy with a good looking watch. And like I said, if it's got a decent dial, I absolutely fall in love. So this is my Dress KX. I did buy a second one. Now, off the top of my head, I don't have my notes on this one, but it's the same watch, but I've got it with the blue, but I managed to pick this one up at a good price and have it on the stock bracelet. So if you were wondering what the bracelet is like, it's stamped, double deployant, there you go, only a pressed clasp. Gets a lot of slack, the bracelet, because there are better aftermarket ones on there. But I think one of these will possibly be going. I don't know which style it will be, which color it will be, but I definitely will keep the stock strap because I like my watches to remain as stock as they can be. Massive hit for Seiko, this watch. So much so, I even bought two. My little mini Explorer. My Seiko 5 SNKE 01K1. I purchased this one used on eBay. It was a fairly good price. But I love the hands. I love the dial. I love the bezel. Not a massive fan of the integrated bracelet, so if this were to ever give up or just have general wear and tear and need replacing, I may have troubles. As you would expect with an earlier Seiko 5, you got your pressed links, folded links, see? Not great. Overall, quite a tinny feeling watch, but again, it looks so good. As you'd expect from an earlier Seiko 5, got your crown there at 4, day-date window. But I think this one just looks, I think this still retails about 150. And then when you look at it, it just looks like it would retail for a hell of a lot more. That was the appeal for me. So yeah, that was my Seiko SNKE 01K1. Very special one in the collection, my Seiko. Let me just clean the glass on that one. A few scratches on this one from 1975. It's the Seiko Lord Quartz. Absolutely stunning integrated bracelet. I mean, this is the hot style to have, isn't it now? I think every man and his dog are releasing a watch of this style. But this is an original from 1975. Imported this one from Japan. To celebrate my 100 subscribers, when I hit triple digits, I treated myself to this. The Seiko Lord Quartz. So I bought these in the lockdown. I say these because I will bring the second one in a second. This is my SKX 007. Every video I watched when I wanted to know about collecting watches, what watches to go for, every YouTuber, every person on the forums online said you had to have an SKX. So I paid a pretty penny for it because, like I said, I got it, but I got it, treated myself March 2020 in lockdown just to cheer myself up. I've got a love-hate relationship with this. I absolutely love the watch, hate this strap. You can see, look, it's just been in a box. Look at this. I mean, how's it gotten like that? It's not even been in any water. It's been in the box. But yeah, you know, it's a stunning, stunning example of a modern classic. And I do have the 009. Now, none of these are sweeping. They are all working. Unfortunately, I've just took them out of the box, put them to one side to get ready to do this video. Still sticking with the Seikos, I have my Monster 4th Gen. Some people don't like the Cyclops. Some people don't like the Monster. And let me tell you, I like the Cyclops and I like this Monster. Again, I've said on numerous videos, I'm not a massive fan of the earlier versions. This is the 4th generation monster. A little bit more subtle in their approach. Still with radical design language, but a little bit more subtle than their earlier versions. This model number is the SRPD 25K1. Again, you've got your little bit more micro adjusting you'll find, say, on those Seiko 5s I just showed. Still a pressed clasp. Some people, they hate that. To me, I'm all about the top part of the watch and what the dial looks like. And on here, a stunning blue. You got like almost like a faux patina to the markers, the bezel markers. It's got like a creamy, warm tone. Absolutely stunning watch. And like I said, I do like that Cyclops. It's really well done. I know you'll be thinking, Troy, let's get these Seikos out the way. But if you're a Seiko fan, you're going to be loving this video because obviously I've got so many Seikos. This is my Seiko Turtle. This is the Save the Ocean edition. And this one, you wind that because you want to see that winding. As the special Save the Ocean dial. On this one's the great white. There's a shark there, just there at the 8 o'clock, the shark's fin. Stunning looking watch. The turtle case shape. Really retro, really vintage style, 70s style indeed. Again, like with the other Seiko I've just shown you. You've got your pressed clasp. Signed. There's your Seiko logo at the back, the tsunami wave. This is part of their prospects lineup, so this is actually a certified diver. I won't be going any diving, so this will just be worn on my wrist out on a sunny day or at the desk or anything like that. Again, no Cyclops on here, different to the other one. So some people will like that on the date window, but you can see the difference that magnification can give. Just lacks that punch. Beautiful seconds hand on it with like the shark's tail. Just a really nice watch. The Batman bezel, the combination of blue and black. Stunning. Got another Seiko dive watch here. Another Save the Ocean Great White, but with a slightly different case shape and different movement. Because as you can see, this is just a date only complication, not a day date. But this is the Seiko Samurai. My favorite case shape on a Seiko dive watch. Really stunning, those angles. It's the same dial as the other one, but like I said, completely different watch. This one is the SRPD 23K1. So the bezel's slightly different, not as black, almost grey on that top part, then graduating over to the blue. Again, you've got your pressed clasp, signed, your Seiko Tsunami at the back. Lovely crown action on this, lovely knurling on the crown. Absolutely love the Samurais. Stunning pieces. And for the money, you can pick up a Samurai. Not a King Samurai, which have their upgrades like sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel. These are aluminium and mineral. So they have been upgraded. But for under £500, you have an impressive looking dive watch. Sticking with the Samurai theme. Different bezel color, different dial color. Everything is pretty much the same. But if you're interested in this one, this is the SRPF 01K1. Lovely waffle dial. Again, I keep saying it has to have a nice dial for it to make it into my collection, or just have something special about it. Like I've got the Save the Oceans, I've got the Cocktail Times, and I have this Samurai with this lovely waffle dial, right light catcher. So I mentioned earlier that I couldn't afford a Rolex or an Omega to have in my collection. So what about something that resembles a Rolex? This is my Seiko 5 with the Jubilee jingly jangly, there we go. So you got your steel and gold. Again, being an early Seiko 5, it feels very hollow, feels very tinny, but the look is absolutely stunning in this gold and stainless steel. Fluted bezel. So again, this one was purchased used, so it's got quite a few scratches. It's been pre-loved before I have loved it, but still a stunning example of what collecting affordable watches can achieve. Don't have to spend thousands to enjoy a pretty watch. No introduction needed. Had to have this. Again, like I said, I've watched plenty of videos starting out, really seriously connecting in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And everyone, I say everyone, mainly two people, so TGV and Miguel over at SoCal Watch Reviews, both massive fans of this watch, and I can see why. I actually get to see it in the flesh. It looks big online, but it wears really nice. It's not a huge watch at all. But the dial, don't ask me what any of this means. I know it's to do with being a pilot, but I just think it's just a cool looking watch. I'm never going to fly a plane, but at least I can wear a watch that a pilot may wear. The dome crystal, stunning. And again, this was pre-loved before I had it, so pretty scratched there on the highly polished center links. Not many micro adjusts on this compared to the other models I've shown. Clasp locks in really well. Like I said, still a pressed clasp. This is a Seiko. You're not going to get a lot of improved clasps apart from a pressed clasp, but I like it. Yeah, I'm a Seiko Flightmaster. Again, another legendary watch that doesn't cost thousands and shows you don't have to spend thousands to have an iconic piece or even a beautiful piece. This is my Seiko SNJ017. Unfortunately, the battery has gone in it, but it's a Seiko pilot's watch with an Ani Digi display. One of my earlier pieces starting collecting when I'd stay up hours just trawling eBay. But this is an absolute steal, and from what I understand, this is quite a rare watch. Probably the same age as the Flightmaster, but a little bit more micro adjusts. Press clasp again, but a stunning example of an earlier rare Seiko timepiece. So we're going to go on to the AliExpress specials. This is a relatively new watch in the collection, purchased this year. Beautiful linen type dial, Boltony watches. They are as nice in the hand as they are online. I've got to say, I really do have to say. Don't really know much about this watch, apart from I just fell in love and I bought it. I can't remember when I purchased it, probably a few months back. But like I said, unfortunately had quite a lot of stuff going on this year. But it's a good quality leather strap. I haven't seen many reviews for this one online. I have for the brand, and with everyone saying it's such a great brand, I 100% wholeheartedly agree. This is an absolutely stunning watch. I think this was roughly about 100, 120 pounds. I'd have to check, I'd have to go back. But this is my little vintage style Boltony. What a beautiful looking watch. So, my Pagani Designs Daytona style watch. Look at the bracelet. So that's my only qualms I know loads of people comment on my unboxing videos saying, how are they? Are they trash? This, that, and everything. I have not had any problems with the movements on these watches. I'm not going to lie, it's always difficult to give my total honest opinion on a movement because I don't wear the same watch every day. I don't know the timekeeping. I don't have a timekeeping device. But I can say I was really disappointed in how easy this screw fell out. And a little story, trying to get my wife into watches and she wanted to wear this and we wore it to the park and it fell off her wrist. So I doubt she'll ever want to get into watches if they can fall off that easy. But other than that, this is a really stunning watch which I've had compliments on. But yeah, unfortunately, that has let me down. My other Paganis have been absolutely fine. So this is my Yachty, I call it the Yachty, which is a luxury inspired watch. Like I said, I don't know about the timekeeping and everything, but this is a Seiko NH35 movement. Put the bezel back, there we go. Which again has drawn compliments. So people obviously know the type of style of watch. Maybe subliminally, I don't know. When they've seen a Rolex on someone's wrist, they're kind of drawn to it and know that's a good watch. So anything looking similar to it, they'll ask you questions. So again, an absolutely stunning watch for the price. Seiko movement in there. So, I mean, you can't complain. I think I picked these up, I don't know, about 60, 70, 80 quid. I just say, I have price brackets. So this came in under 100 and under 100, absolute banger. So happy with this. This is the GMT, Ani Digi GMT. This one's got the Chinese movement. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the numbers are, the numerals are. But I do believe they've released this with the new Seiko GMT movement, which should be interesting. But again, like when I've wore this, it's been absolutely fine. Super comfortable with that Jubilee style bracelet. Little jingly jangly, nothing there. Sign buckle. These are what they are. They are great watches for 100 quid. I don't care. I don't really care about any negative comments about these because, like I said, I break the watch into price brackets, and under 100 quid for a watch that looks like this, forget about it. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. So there's my Ani Digi GMT. Traditional classic style, which I recently posted on Instagram. Could this be the best homage under 100 quid? It really is a great watch. Again, this uses the Seiko movement, Seiko NH35 movement. Got your traditional Mercedes hands, everything about the look. We got the, it's a bit off, let me move that. That would do my OCD no good. And let's get rid of these fingerprints off the glass. There we go. Pretty decent watches, you know. Not when you're comparing them to things a lot more expensive, but price-wise, under 100, really is just no questions, you know. Stunning watches for the price. Something different, but again from Ani Design, the Bauhaus style on this, I've always said this is one of my favorite watches in the collection. It is a beauty. Reminds me of some of the young hands watches that are out there. That simple, clean, it's like an ivory white. It's just really well done. Seiko Mecha Quartz, I believe, on this one. I can't remember the movement. Do you know, it's been so long since I've actually played about with my watches, only till recently, because they've all been put away safe, you see, with all the building work that's been going on, dust, bricks, everything, you know. So I've kept a lot of it in storage. Took the bracelet off, came with the metal bracelet, and I put this racing style strap on from AliExpress. It's a really, really, really big strap, long strap. So if you've got larger wrists, it would be great. See if I can find it, pop links in the description. Ani Design Flight. PD272OK. Yeah, VK. Cal 67. But look at that. Stunning. My little Star King automatic. And apologies if the lighting seemed like it changed. My wife came in and she turned the wrong lights off. So I do apologize. Oh, I cry out for my own space sometimes. Not very long, not very long. But if we pull this out, this is an automatic. This is a Star King automatic. Little cheap Chinese movement in the watch. Picked this one up for under 30 quid. This is a very special watch. This is what my son wore on the day of my wedding. So this will always stay in the collection. At the time he was 9, so obviously he wasn't going to have anything expensive. He was wearing a suit just like his old dad, and we couldn't put a G-Shock or a Casio on him because he wanted to look a little bit smart. So he wore the Star King. My Cadison automatic, another simple watch. Didn't come on this strap, just came on a normal black strap, but people on my Instagram or people who have seen my other state of the collections have seen I always wear it on this black and red suede strap. Just matching that second hand. NH movement in the back. I don't know what the prices are these, because these are, this was one of my earlier purchases. Guessing they should still be under 60, 70 quid. So great value for money for a Seiko movement in the watch. But yeah, really happy with this one. Great looking watch. And the final one of my AliExpress purchases is the Chimiri High Beat Quartz. So as you can see, the smoother sweep of the quartz hand. So I don't know why more and more companies don't use this movement. What we got? Screw down, yep, screw down crown. This again is fairly new into the collection. I don't think it's coming across on camera just how beautiful this watch is. Again, a nice ivory dial. I'm going to try and pick up the details on the hands. Oh, my little crown got stuck there. More fingers and thumbs. There we go. So if I can just get the angles, look, of the hands. Sharp blade hands. Dauphine style hands, you know. Stunning. And the blue, if we can just catch the blue of the second hand. I believe this is a homage to an old King Seiko. I'll have to look into it, ready for when I eventually pop a review on. But I've been and enjoy wearing this. May swap out the strap. The strap's not great. It is just your bog standard, what you'd get on a cheaper watch. Leather strap, very thin. But 20-inch lugs means this is be an absolute strap monster. Links will be in the description if you want to buy any of the AliExpress watches. They will be affiliate links, but they will be down in the bottom there. Doesn't cost you any extra and will raise funds for the channel. There you go. What a stunner. I'm going to bring dive watches next. This is my Spinnaker Fleuss. Beautiful textured dial on the Fleuss. And I've just saw they've just released the Fleusses with a mother of pearl dial, which looks beautiful, beautiful. Love to have one of those in the collection. There's the display case back. I took it off its traditional brown strap, put it with this black strap. This is from Sizemont, from the Trentin watch store. I just think it just makes it look that little bit more stylish in black instead of the brown. Got Fotina to the hands, bezel, and indexes. But yeah, one of my favorite brands, Spinnaker. Showcasing a couple of more Spinnakers. We got the Crofts. This is my first purchase. And then this one was purchased by my wife when she asked what I liked about a watch. Rattled everything off, like small seconds. I like a dive style, automatic, and I don't know how she just ended up buying this one when I already had this one. But these are the Spinnaker Crofts. These have featured on the channel in a full review. I will post a little link for it up in the corner. So we just move one to one side. Again, textured, beautiful textured dialing on there. You have to check this brand out. Spinnaker do make some fantastic watches. They really do. Not expensive. They are starting to go a little bit more premium, up into the 500, 600, 700s for some of their watches. But you can pick up a Croft. They have a Croft mid-size, which is, I believe, with a Seiko movement, not a Miyota movement. This is the original Croft. Then I shall show you in the black. It's got a more browny black. Everything's silver instead of gold. But yeah, these are great watches. They really, really are great watches, these Spinnakers. Which is your favourite out of the two? Let me know in the comments. Sticking with the dive watches. I'm going to call this a dive style because this is only 100 meters. Automatic movement though. And sapphire crystal. And this was an absolute steal. Would I have bought it at full retail? I'm not going to lie, no. Not really. But that is because I collect affordable watches. That's the bargain hunter inside of me. Now, people will say, well, why are you buying watches that's simply just on offer? Because I like to experience different watches. I like different styles. I want to know what I rate, as I say, and what I hate. And the Festina, though a good looking watch, things like the bezel action, the lume, the Cyclops, the bracelet, it just has things that just let it down. But again, if I hadn't bought it, because I definitely wouldn't have bought it full retail, I would have never have known these things, buying it on a deal, buying it on an offer. So there it is. And that's not knocking the watch. Like I said, it's a good looking watch. There are just things that could be better. I suppose that's the same with all these watches, but this probably has more that I hate than I actually rate. Talking what I rate, look at this. This is the latest watch that I've bought for myself because it's been a bit of a difficult year. You know, I haven't had my home comforts. We've had some personal things going on, and it's just been a tough year. And I thought, you know what, Troy, you've hung it out. You've come to the end of the year and you're still smiling. You know, you're still loving life. So I purchased this Ocean Eva, the Marine. What's it called again? The Deep Marine Explorer 2. So they've obviously taken some influences from a Swiss luxury brand, the type of names they use. Just try and clean this crystal. This will feature on the channel in a review. Absolutely stunning. This as well is my first Swiss dive watch, yeah, with the Sleater SW200. But an absolute stunning watch. For me, it's the dial. You know, I'm going to keep going over and over like a broken record. It's the dials for me. Oh, let me just get this out of the way so you can see it. There we go. Ceramic bezel, something crazy like 1200 meters waterproof, helium escape valve, solid links, solid end links, milled clasp. There we go. Let's have a look if it says, oh, it's actually limited edition. So this is number 23 of 1000. So I don't know if you can see it. 23 of 1000. But it's got this beautiful mother of pearl dial, turquoise mother of pearl dial, which honestly, you just cannot get it picking up on camera as much as you can in real life. This brand needs to be explored more, I swear. Don't see a lot of it on YouTube. So I was very fortunate to be gifted this one by thewatchshop.com. I've been working closely with Watchshop this year. writing various blogs, getting hands-on with watches, which has been a lot easier for me than actually getting and setting up, because it's not, like for example, I just knocked the camera. It's not easy when you're limited for space and don't have a professional studio, and you are doing it like I am, sat in my kitchen, to just be able to do quality content that you guys deserve. So I've been doing watch blogs with them, getting hands-on, doing mini reviews, becoming one of their gurus. And I'm really stoked. It was just for a love of watches and wanting to get hands-on with watches. A company like that have basically reached out, and I'm really honored to be doing it and to experience all these different watches. And like this depth charge, a brand I would have probably just scrolled past online, but you got solid links, sensible amount of micro adjusts, a milled clasp, Seiko automatic movement, beautiful bezel action, absolutely stunning, sapphire crystal, anti-reflective, but these are amazing for the price. Now, they usually put them on offer with discount codes where you can pick these things up for about 100, 120, definitely under 150. And if this is going to be your first dive watch, or you just want something that looks the part and you don't want to break the bank, then you do need to check out depth charge. I've been really happy. Even though I'm not a two-tone guy, this doesn't get a lot of wear unless it's the right occasion. But when you put it on, it's like you feel a bit, I don't know, bit more premium because of how it looks. Not that you feel premium, but you feel a little bit more confident, if you get what I'm saying. And yeah, for some people it might be too much. For me, sometimes it can be too much, which it has to be the right occasion to wear something like this. And I've enjoyed the times I've wore this because it's just an impressive watch. Very impressed by this brand. Talk about love-hate. Such a dividing watch. Divides the community so much. For me, I personally like the watch. I think it's a great introduction. If you look at, I think it's probably my second video. When I got it from the Amazon Prime sale a few years ago, I picked one of these up. I got to learn a little bit more about how a bezel should feel. This is quite stiff, you know? So you're not going to be paying £200, £300, £400 for something that has a bezel like this. I certainly wouldn't. So it kind of tells you what you need to look for. It's got a stiff clasp. Look at this. Again, if I paid hundreds for this, I'd be really disappointed. That all feels a bit clicky, clacky. But it's a great watch. Apart from those few little cons, you got the Invicta branding there. It really is. And these are always in the Prime Day sale or a stupidly Black Friday or mid-season sale. These are always on sale. And you will pick these up literally for like 50 quid if you just wait. And for 50 quid, it's certainly worth taking a punt. Like I said, this one has some quality control issues for sure. If you're just starting out, you're more seasoned collectors. Obviously, they're not going to give this the time of day. But if you're starting out and you're on a low budget, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. This is the Invicta Pro Diver. One of the earliest ones in the collection. Probably the one that really made me fall down the rabbit hole. My Bull of a Devil Diver. 70s style. Which, again, this is what I like about the hobby. You learn to, I don't want to say find yourself, but you kind of learn to know what you love. And you kind of learn to know what you hate about a watch or what can be improved or what you will definitely stay away from. Like, for example, I don't like open heart designs on a watch. You're not going to see any open heart designs. I love the vintage style, the retro casing, the domed crystal, the language of the 70s. Which just screams in this watch when the original one was released. And this will always have a special place because my wife bought it for me as my first watch to really, it was quite expensive as well. And like, we were quite humble, and it was a really nice surprise. I was like, whoa, okay, can't believe you spent that. And even what she spent on the other watches. So it's always going to have a special place because of who bought it for me, because of the timeline of my collection, and because it just looks so damn good. You know, it's a good looking watch. That's my Bulliver Devil Diver. So Citizen, I believe I've had Citizens in the past when I didn't really collect. I don't know, I've had watches in the past. But this was my first Eco Drive, which was again purchased over the past couple of years. I've put an unboxing online, and I'd never had an Eco Drive. I was never hands-on with a solar powered watch. And I just find it fascinating. You know, it's how a watch can be powered by light. Now, this might be ticking a little weird because, like I said, a lot of my watches have been out in storage. So I need to get them in the light again. I need to get them recharged. And it's just lovely to just get hands-on with them all again, especially getting them all out like I have now. It's just like, wow, I can't believe how many I've got, which has kind of shown me, because I haven't had to wear or had the luxury of being able to change my watch on my wrist every day of the month, every day of the week, that I will probably consolidate a lot of the collection down, and really get to experience the ones I really love in the collection. Will this one stay? Probably not. Does it mean that's bad? Not really, because it means I won't rule out Eco Drives. I've been really happy with this watch. It's a good sporty style, good grab and go. There are other colours within this, but I do believe with the dial it's got, and for the prices you can pick this watch up for, like I said, in different colours, or this, it's a good watch. Not for everyone, but the strap, the rubber straps, better than, for example, the SKX ones that I got. Much more comfortable. And yeah, I enjoy this watch. I like it. I like it. Will it stay? Who knows? Another Eco Drive. I should really put or let you know the model numbers. I can't. I'll pop them at the bottom for these two Citizens if you are interested in picking one of these up. But if I just show you, this one is, there we go. We have a model number there. Can we get them in focus? So this is a field watch style from Citizen. Massive crown, knurled crown, which is, you know, a great little watch. There really isn't much to say about this because it's not feature packed. It doesn't have a sapphire crystal. It's just an exciting automatic movement that I could say is developed in-house, or it has this many jewels, or it has, I don't know, some horological significance, or it was borrowed by another brand during the early time of automatic. You know, it's not got none of that story. It just does what it does. It just tells the time. And with the luxury of having the Eco Drive, you don't have to worry about battery changes. It's super legible, sandblasted case. It's just a decent all-round watch. That if you want a no-nonsense watch, then this has to be one to look at. Now, I bought it because I wanted to be hands-on with more Eco Drives, and especially more Citizens. I don't know why. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of Citizens on YouTube. Is it because they don't get the views and everyone's in it for the views? Is it because it's a brand that's kind of looked upon as the black sheep of the Japanese family because it's dominated by Seiko? Who knows? But there are some decent Citizens out there. And this allowed me to get involved with the brand without spending hundreds on a watch. This is what it's about. Enjoy the hobby and don't break a bank. You know, there are other things to pay for, like food and clothes, but it doesn't mean you don't have to spend money to have a nice watch on your wrist. And it allowed me to get in with Citizen. I know I've been rabbiting on a little bit more about Citizen than I have shown the other watches, but I wanted to not just only express why I've got these watches, but also the brands. And yeah, it's certainly a brand to be looked at in the future more for the channel and for myself. This was a little cheap and cheerful pickup. Henry of London. You'll always see these watches kicking about, predominantly on Amazon UK. I don't know about internationally, but on Amazon UK, you'll be able to pick these watches up for like 20-30 quid. The automatics between 60 and 100. The vintage style of this brand, I have to say, is phenomenal. That they're trying to capture the era of when this type of style of watch was manufactured. A little bit big. It's not true to the design language. It is a bigger watch. You traditionally would see probably a 36 to a 34 mil. Off the top of my head, I think this is about 38. But the indexes, the hands, the crystal, the case shape, even the way the strap feels, it feels like I've just purchased a vintage watch off of eBay. And if that's what they're trying to achieve, they've done a really good job. And if you're wanting an attractive watch, I mean, it's got beautiful rose gold, it's got the ivory dial, it says British design at the bottom there. If you're wanting to have a watch that looks vintage, but again, I keep saying that it doesn't break the bank, or it just doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, or you don't want to go for the bigger brands, then this is a brand to check out. This is Henry London, and a stunning example of why collecting watches is such a fun hobby. Now this is the latest watch in the collection, the RGMT. I'm not too sure what the model number is, because look, it's still got the stickers on, because this was purchased by my old mother for Christmas. Milled clasps, solid links, solid end links. Part of the Dartmouth brand, so it's one of their brands. So what if you've been hands-on with Spinnaker or Aviate, you'll know the quality of the materials used. Just I don't know, it feels substantial, it feels quality. One thing I did notice, unfortunately, is the movement they've used. It's not hitting all the markers. So that's a bit of a negative. And this online can be seen for stupid money, like £500. And I said to my mum, please tell me you didn't spend 500 on that. She said, it was on the shopping channel. It only cost me X amount. And I just said, really? Then that's really good. That's really good. So yeah, this is the latest one in the collection. Not too sure on the model. Actually, does it say on the display case back? Let's have a look. We have got the RG8030, which I don't know if you can see that. And the movement it is using, it just says chronograph movement. So I'll probably feature this one on the channel, let you know everything about it, what I rate, what I hate. Look at this. This is, oh, I just locked that. There we go. And I'll let you know exactly how I feel about this RGMT. But the feel of it and the look of it, I've been very, very impressed. Talking about presents from the old mother. This was a Constatin Weisz or Weisz. This is featured on the channel in an unboxing. Again, this is another one she purchased, as she does. She's one of those that's always on the shopping channel. I'm like, don't spend those and don't believe those prices. She told me what she got this for, and I was absolutely shocked. It's a hand wind. Let's see if we get it going. New old stock. Can't remember the movement I've put on. ETA, that was it. ETA, I remember now. New old stock ETA movement. I can't remember the actual caliber number. It is featured in my unboxing video. Lovely mesh metal strap. I will take it off because I'm a little bit worried about the magnet so close to the movement. But there's the movement there. If you can just see it working away. On there, it's got on the back O Max. Now I know that's an old Swiss brand, so that must have been who used that movement, but that's what's in here. And again, they have some big, bold designs, this brand, very much like some of the Invicta lineup. But this was quite a subtle offering from them, and I was really shocked at how well she did picking this watch. Super compressor style. Don't know how good the water resistancy would be, but there we go. And the final one from my mum is this old Oleg Cassini. If you've been following my state of the collection, hasn't been worn on the wrist. It's certainly not my style now. Cartier style, but you can see how old it is. 2000. It's coming up to 23 years old. That's my little Oleg Cassini. We might as well go all out now. This one's from my mother-in-law as a present. This is the Acctim. This is a British brand, radio controlled. I took it off of its metal strap. I put it on this NATO style strap because it just looks a lot better. But again, this brand, looking online, they do a lot of talking watches, alarm clocks, wall clocks. So they seem to be a timekeeping, whether they're a micro brand, I don't know, but they are a timekeeping brand that's located here in the UK. That's all I can say. But I love the style of this. It's a beautiful looking watch. Really enjoy wearing this one sometimes. Go all out, shall we? This is another one for present now. This was purchased for my 40th by my mother-in-law. This is the Axios Pathfinder. So I've been very fortunate to have a family that really support the hobby. My wife, my mum, my mother-in-law. It's really helped me build a collection. And you know, that's what it's about, you know. It's just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. And when you get given presents like this, they become keepers in the collection. Whether it's a watch you're like, I wouldn't have purchased that for myself. It's the thought is there, and each watch from the family members are super special. I do have some really old sentimental ones. They won't be making it to the video because this video is going to be over an hour. They are available to see on earlier versions of my State of the Collections. But a lot of the State of the Collection is to look back for myself, to see what I've had, what I've got hands on, what I've kept, what I've rated, what I've hated, and basically just my growth as a collector. But this is the Axios Pathfinder, absolutely stunning watch. This again, all of these will try and get cracking on. I'm not going to be so strict on myself writing scripts and all that this year. I'm going to get more comfortable just talking to you guys in the camera, and just keeping that as a goal of mine. That means I can get more content out to you, show you more of the watches I've got hands on, especially working with people like the Watch Shop. Just get them out, let's see what you think of it, and communicate with you guys. But this is a beautiful watch. Beads of rice style bracelet. These multi-links, super soft, super flexible. The salmon dial, beautiful watch, absolutely love this one. That's the Axios Pathfinder. We go on to Dakota now. This is the C1 Gen 2. Can't remember off the top of my head the actual. There's a couple of versions of these, the model. Again, you can see the 70s style in here, the Tag Heuer style almost. Great brand. Absolutely love Dakota. Their straps are great. Their watches are great. Beautiful timepiece, this one. Panda style. Where are we? I think. Look at that. I'm going to have to do a lot of battery changes. I think this one needs a new battery. So like I said, you can tell a lot of these have been put away. Let me just see. So unscrew the crown. Yeah, battery's gone because the hands are not ticking away. So I'm going to have to do a lot of battery changes over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so unfortunately, can't show you the movement going because the battery's gone on it. So I do apologize, guys. Another Dakota. This one was from my mum as a present again. I think this was for my birthday. This is the WO2, I believe. I have done an unboxing for this one, I think, on the channel. Vintage style. So this goes way beyond the 70s. We are talking early wristwatch styles. Vintage in size as well. No, of course not true to the size, but it's small enough to almost be an original of that era. Beautiful seagull movement, one of the most decorated and highly regarded movements now, because you've got the likes of Baltic and other brands taking these movements on. Stunning looking movement, but again, what a beautiful looking watch. Next up, the Sonar Momentum. This is going to be a very special watch in the collection, because this was actually sent to me as a gift from Adrian over at the Somewhere in Time YouTube channel. Now, he's been a massive supporter of my channel and to me, speaking through like on Instagram throughout the years and communicating in the comment section of each other's videos. So this would never leave. This was the Sonar Momentum. This got the high beat movement in. I think the Miyota 9000 series. And one of the only tank dials, tank style watches in my collection. So this is never going. And this is going to be the theme for the next 3 watches, how these are never going to leave the collection because they are firsts for me. So this was the first watch gifted to me by a fellow YouTuber. So again, Adrian, thank you ever so much. Means the world to me. Thank you. That's great. Cheers, buddy. This here is the Core Timepieces 7 Sins. Now this is the first watch that I was actually gifted by a brand. So again, this will always stay in the collection. Now this is so clever. It's actually a watch based upon the 7 sins, whether you will act upon them or whether you repent against them. It's a really clever concept to a watch, and again, special to me because it was the first one I was gifted. So thank you, Core Timepieces, for gifting me your 7 sins. And this one here, the Foscari, this is actually the first watch I've ever won in a competition. Now this was on Instagram, which was at the time, the chap's Insta handle was watches on a shoestring budget. Again, I've only really got back into Instagram over the past couple of weeks because I didn't have time for the hobby. It was really difficult to get, and it was quite disheartening because I didn't really want to chuck myself into the hobby knowing I couldn't get hands on with all my watches. I know it sounds a bit bratish, but the watches were put away and I was kind of jealous of seeing everyone's new watches or new watch alert or seeing this new release and not being able to partake in the community because I knew mine was under just not lock and key but just put away safe. And I believe it's watches on the wrist, so I do apologize. Link to your Instagram. I'm not going to say his real name because obviously we communicate through Instagram and stuff, so I won't say his middle name because that's private to him. But yeah, you know, it was really nice. It was like a comment and share type of thing, and I won the Foscari, and what a stunning watch. Look at the crystal, the dome crystal on there. And that blue, again, I'm trying to get stuff to come across on camera. Whether it will or won't, I don't know. But it's a stunning, stunning looking timepiece. So again, this will never leave because this was the first watch I actually won. So super chuffed. This is the Sizemont. This was the skeleton one I actually got gifted to the channel. I was gifted this one and the black version, or the gunmetal grey version, which I since given to a dear friend of mine. Humble guy, always there for me. So I just thought, you know what, like, can't afford to buy you anything too expensive to show my appreciation for you as a friend. But I knew he really would appreciate this watch. And I've kept one and he's kept the other one. So yeah, that's kind of special. And I'm not a skeleton guy, but I think this is not a bad looking watch, you know, for what you get. Now, Sizemont I've worked with a few times, and which is basically the not Sizemont, but Trend Him. And you really need to check out, they've released, in the last 12 months, some really gorgeous watches from the likes of Sizemont, Fowler or Fowler, another one of their brands. Some really nice looking watches. So a brand, I did say, if they can kind of decide where they're going, I think they will make some really good watches for the enthusiasts. A lot of their styles are very fashion orientated, like this one, But again, I see good things for the brand. But I think this is pretty big. But super impressed with this one. One of my favorites in the collection, the Richard Legrand. This is the Atlanticus, which is an absolutely stunning watch. This one has featured on a full review on my channel. So if you want to go check it out, go check it out. I'd recommend seeing it in all its glory, what I rate and what I hate. For starters though, it's the dial. We go back to that again, the dial. Look at this blue. Different types of blue, no matter what light you put it in, no matter what time of the day, it just always constantly looks different. And it's not that Tiffany blue, it's an unusual blue. It's like a sky blue, something you don't see in a lot of watches. Took it off of its original strap and I put it on, talking about the brand just now actually. We were talking about Sizemont and Trendhim. This is the Fowler. This is one of their straps. I've done a strap video, but the Fowler or the Fowler, they're making some really nice watches. So I put that strap on this watch and I think it's a really nice combination. What do you think? I felt super chuffed, you know, to buy this watch. This came out in 2020, so I learned about Hodinkee in 2020 and some of their watch releases that they've done previously and how everyone scalped them. So to be able to pick this one up was super special. Now, that was the year my business celebrated 10 years. I was 10 years of being my own boss, 10 years in opening in a recession, and now going into other recessions. It's topsy-turvy being your own boss, I tell you. And I would like to have bought something, not going to lie, quite expensive, like a luxury watch, just to remember doing a decade in business. But this was after lockdown, this was after the pandemic, this was after all that topsy-turvy time of 2020. Did I really want to be chucking lots of money on a watch? Did I really not know what was around the corner? So I bought something that will be special because of the link to Hodinkee and generally what would be seen as a sought-after watch or something to talk about. Actually, I've already got stories attached to it, but something you would talk about in many, many years to come. But the Q Timexes are really nice looking watches. The straps aren't for everybody. They can pinch the hair, but the style of these Q Timexes, and I recently got hands on with the M79, which is the automatic version, looks identical, but with an automatic movement instead of the Quartz movement. But yeah, it's a beautiful watch that really, if you get hands on with a Q Timex and you want a cheap watch that looks the part, I've always said that, it always has to look good. Doesn't matter about the specs really, as long as it's on your wrist and it looks good, you think it looks good, that's the most important thing. And this looks phenomenal. Talking of phenomenal, the MECCANICHE Veneziane, the Redontore. So this brand has recently changed to Seiko or something along those lines. For me, that was a bad mistake. You do not change your brand name. You can change your lineups, but you do not change your brand name. This watch was heavily promoted on social media when I got into collecting. It was constantly just following me everywhere. And it was this colorway. It was always this colorway that was out of stock. And it came up on I think on a Black Friday, and my beautiful wife, you know, she spoils me rotten, you know. She literally spoils me rotten. She purchased this one for me. And I'll probably go back in some videos or maybe my Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, guys, about this watch. But it's got anti-blue reflective coating, beautiful domed crystal, the color of that cream with the gold indexes, the blue hands, the font, the Maltese cross. The strap is sort of super quality. It's Italian leather strap. Even that's stamped on the back. Beautiful stamp. Love this brand. Love this brand. Not so much now because of the name change and not any of the pieces kind of standing out to me like this one did. This one just followed me. And whether it was the marketing in it and it got me in, But I actually think this is a stunning looking watch. And if I hadn't seen it all over social media and I just randomly found it online, I would then be stalking that watch. So it got to me before I got to it. Absolutely beautiful. The Redontore MECCANICHE VENEZIANE. A banger on a budget. That's what I call this. You could wear your Rolexes, but your Rolexes won't have Indiglo. Let's see if the Indiglo works. There it is. You're not going to see it very well, but look at this. This was his late night purchase on eBay. I think I had a couple of quid, more than a couple of quid, must have been about 15, 20, 25 quid in my PayPal. I just did a late night scroll and it was coming up to auction end, popped a bid in and won it. That's basically the story of this. I don't think it will stay simply because it does feel too small. The case size I think is 36. Maybe this is 38, it might have stayed. I've put on a couple of extra pounds in the last few years. That's what living without a kitchen does for you. That's the takeaways. You'd think it'd be the other way. It ain't. It's definitely not. But going back to this, I think it's just a tad too small for my wrist. Again, it allowed me to try this sort of style of watch, which I think is the best looking style of Rolex you could have, the OPs. I just love the watch. So maybe if I do eventually buy a vintage style or I come into some money then, and if I buy that, then I know I should go bigger. So again, like I said, you buy a watch to find your tastes, or if you've been a seasoned collector. I mean, there's people who've been collecting years and years. I'm still only 3 years. I'm still kind of finding what I rate, what I hate, where my feet are with what I want. But yeah, definitely this style of watch, a little bit bigger for me, but that's my Timex. I don't know the model number, but it's the Indiglo WR 50 meters. That's all I'm going to say, because that's all on the dial. The best beater on a budget. I still get comments on the video I did for this, and it really is such a phenomenal offering from Casio. Now, I managed to pick this up for 10 quid, 10 pounds. The most recent comment, I think someone said he bought it for 26. Disagreed with the quality of the strap, and I believe the loom, which, yeah, granted, the loom isn't great, but I wouldn't say my argument, because we weren't arguing, but my point was for 10 pounds, I'm not going to complain at the loom. 26, 30, you know, you might want better loom, but 30 quid on a watch is still, in this day and age, is super duper cheap. But I still think this is the best beater you'll get. I really do. Now I haven't got hands on with a lot of beater watches at the under £50 mark, but this has to be in there. There's no denying. You watch other various YouTube videos and they will tell you how good this watch actually is. Budget to one side. If you put it up against other Casios like the F91W or the Casio Royale, which are both in my collection, it's just a fantastic watch. It wears better than an F91W, and the advantage it's got over the Royale is an analog. So that alone makes this a standout Casio in my opinion. I absolutely love this. But yeah, it certainly is the best beater on a budget. Talking of the Casio Royale, I feel kind of bad about talking bad about it just now. And yeah, this and the MR200, MRW200, which is the last Casio I just shown you, can easily be purchased under 30 quid. That one was a better beater watch. This is a better looking watch. Like I said, if you wanted the digital Casio, then this is a fantastic choice. If you wanted an analog Casio, then that is a fantastic choice. But honestly, I've worn this so much this year. I kept a lot of the automatics in storage because I didn't want to be winding them all the time with everything in the house. And I used a lot of Quartz watches, and this one was worn quite a lot. And I love it. I really, really do love this watch. There's really not much else to say. I'm looking at it and I'm literally lost for words. It's a stunning watch. Love it. See, told you I got one in the collection. Why did I buy this one? Because I have fond memories of this watch as a child, borrowing it off my friend, which you would have seen that story in previous State of the Collections. But yeah, he used to let me borrow this watch, and I used to play with the backlight, hide under the quilt, play with the backlight. You know, it was such fun. It was just, I was mesmerized by it, absolutely mesmerized. But we are, I mean, some of you might laugh, some of you younger viewers, but we're talking, I used to play a Sega Master System. And if you wanted to play with someone, you had to both sit in front of the screen and both talk to each other. There was no headsets, no online gaming. And that was the charm of an era. And this watch embodies the charm of the era. But what got me was when I was bought this as a present from a friend, which was like, whoa, okay, now I'm not a massive Casio, not fan, I do like Casios, but a Casio enthusiast. Compared to some people out there, massive Casio enthusiasts. And, yeah, I mean, obviously they're shown at different times. Shows you how often I wear these. But I was like, whoa, hold on a second, this is the same watch, isn't it? And it's not. It really isn't. And I put it into a Casio Facebook group, and I was obviously where the Casio fans really are. And I was told the water resistance is better on this one. And I believe it's a different module on this one. But look at this, it's almost identical. But I think there's something about this one has I think where I see the 50 meters and everything, I think that has a more 80s charm or aesthetic. This one is the W59, and that's the F91W. See it there? But two small quality little Casios. This one I've been wearing more just because of the extra water resistancy, more so than this. And it's I think it's slightly bigger as well. So I've been wearing this one more, hence why the time is correct. Talking iconic, the Casio Joro. Again, this watch, always on Amazon UK, always between 45 and 65 quid. And it's not, again, not much to say about this, apart from if you have that money, pick one up. Now, I showed you the Invicta Pro Diver. Now, kind of, not the same, but very similar watches in style, being a dive watch, black face, black bezel. That one obviously comes on a metal strap, this on rubber strap, one being automatic, this one being quartz. If your budget's for the two, this is a better choice. Now, I know you don't get that Seiko movement, but you just get a much better looking watch, better feeling watch, and just an icon that even Bill Gates wears. Maybe people will be saying one day that Troy wore this watch. You know, that famous YouTuber, the Bold Watch Collector, he wore that watch. Maybe that will get the same status, but for now we'll have to just do with Bill Gates. But the Casio Joro. My best video to date was when I got hold of the G-Shock Mini. Absolutely crazy it went. Absolutely mental. Why? Because it was kind of the smaller version of the Casio, the GA2100 and the S2100. Now, I had this at the height when this watch had this euphoric rise. It just went crazy, especially the one with all the white indexes, with the all black indexes. Now, let me just give this a quick clean. That was going over retail. I wasn't going to spend that sort of money. But geez, Casio have cashed this cow all the way to the bank. You can get all the colors you can think of. You can have translucent case and strap. You can have metal casing upgrade. I can't remember the model number of that. You can have a solar, I believe, now. You can have a camo. You can have anything now. Crazy, absolutely crazy how this watch is done for Casio. This, not so much. I think they've only released this in 3 colorways and they haven't had a second release of different colors. I think this is the one that's going to go all the way to the bank. This is meant to be classed as the G-Shock Mini, Casio Mini, and this is the standard. And as you can see, there really is such little difference between the size. This is definitely a summer watch. Said in my unboxing, that's what it was bought for. This is more my all-rounder watch, but one absolute iconic pair for Casio. My Frederique Constant High Life, the only luxury piece in my collection, my first luxury piece. Some people may not consider it luxury, obviously in the YouTube and watch collecting circles, but it's luxury to me. An absolute stunning timepiece. A couple of things that stand out for me is the globe on the dial, to inspire me to see more of the world and live your passion. So that for me is, I'm passionate in everything I do, and I just do things I love. No point wasting time on things you don't like or do not love. And watch collecting is one of the things I love. So there's my Frederique Constant High Life. Got the Orient Bambino version 2, the cream dial with the Roman numerals. You got the blue hands. Stunning watch, best looking watch I think for under £200. I really do. I've taken it off of its strap because the strap wasn't very good, and I've put it on this cheap blue strap from AliExpress, which is an absolute bargain, and I think it just complements those blue hands. Last but not least, the one that's definitely going to be next out of the collection. Don't even know the model number of this. Timex Expedition. Purchased on a whim in a Black Friday sale along with the Invicta, and at the time another Timex Expedition. This one, geez, I didn't know about case sizes, and I think this case size measures in at over 50 mil. Good for you big boy, big wristed people. But for me, it's gotta go. And anyway, like I said, it's time to see who has won my 1000 giveaway. Let's take a look.